Arsenal are working on the outgoings this week, and it looks like they're really paving way for Yuri Tielemans to come in through, because they are really doing all what is deserved to really to see to it that the deadwood or the players that the manager doesn't need are either sold totally or really loaned out in here onto the channel, which goes by the names of Rokani Media Football. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily in the For You. Is it a search for money to bring in Yuri Tielemans, or a search for money to see to it that they really get these players out of the club in the For You? That is the big question you want to know, because Jacobs Ben told us way back that Arsenal should really sell out players to really get in money to buy Yuri Tielemans. Secondly, David Austin told us that Arsenal, to bring in Yuri Tielemans, they're supposed to load off certain players from their camp in here onto Rokani Media Football. And I think this is what Arsenal is embarking on, especially Edu Gaspar. This is the reason as to why they really went early in the market. When they went early in the market, they really bought in 5 players. Now, before the beginning of the season on Friday, where Arsenal is going to be playing Crystal Palace, Arsenal has so far brought in 5 players: Matt Turner, Zinchenko, Marquinhos, Fabio Vieira, and Gabriel Jesus. It looks like Mikel Arteta, every press conference has been saying, or every press conference he has been attending, he has already told the media that he really needs in more players. Obviously, one of those players that is being talked about is Yuri Tielemans from a side which goes by the names of Leicester City in the For You. And a deal that we thought had really propelled this deal into action or into motion has now been off, and the player has really gone to Fulham. So let's wait and see how Arsenal are really going to go on and really do the needful in this deal of Tielemans in there For You. But I really believe that they're really creating way for the players of a side which goes by names of Arsenal go out and let Tielemans in there For You. Obviously, to me, I really believe that it's very much knowledgeable and very much acceptable. How can you really buy 5 and you having close to 8, 7, 10 players who are supposed to move out of the club, and you've only moved out 1? And before the start of last week, Arsenal had only got rid of 1 player who goes by the names of Guendouzi, whom they sold permanently to Marseille. Now, as we speak, last week they really sent out Nuno Tavares on loan to Marseille. They've sent out Okonkwo on loan. Ranarson is also being sent out on loan in Turkey because they are suitors in there For You. Then Balogun is one of them we're going to talk about today. Then Bernd Leno too is moving out. Torreira is too moving out in there For You. 2 of these moving out on a permanent deal, and 1 only is really moving out on loan in there For You. So let's get into the stories as they are here onto this channel, which goes by the names of Rokani Media Football. Smash the like button, guys, and subscribe to this channel. Now we are having Ryan Taylor. He's a sports journalist who writes for Daily Express and Rich PLC Nationals in there For You, reporting on football and boxing in there For You. He has told us that Bernd Balogun has completed his move to League One side Stade Reims from Arsenal. There is no option to buy included in the agreement, while the deal will be made official and announced tonight. So that is one of the outgoings in there For You that Arsenal really put out. Arsenal really are working on the outgoings. I told you at the beginning of the video. Reason, they want to really create some space for newcomers in there For You. You get? The only way you can really get in a player and convince the board to really get you the player that you want is by really getting out some players. Obviously, when you loan out these players, there is a loan fee that is followed to that deal. And so on the loans that Arsenal is going to put out, Arsenal can really get in some £10 million, of which they can be used really to go in and really bring in other players, because they share the salary. But the good thing is that Arsenal does not pay astronomical wages to these players. That's why you see to it that it's easy for them to move on players, either to loan them or to sell them, because they don't pay astronomical wages. They don't like Manchester United and Barcelona. United can get a player like Phil Jones and give him a salary of £140,000 a week. Yet in the last 3-4 years, he has only played 1 game. And imagine, how do you put such a player on such a huge contract? You get? That's what United has been doing. But Arsenal doesn't panic in such stuff. You get? They really take their time to really give a player a contract, and it's reasonable. When you look at Gabriel Jesus, if at all Arsenal is paying him £230,000 a week, He's worth it. He's worth it. Because he's a proven player and he has come in on a chip because he's 25 years of age, left with Jan on his contract, obviously had to come in at 45 million pounds. Imagine if Torreira had 2 years on his contract, Man City would have called for like 70 million pounds from this player. So he deserves that amount of money and he deserves to be the highest paid player at Arsenal because of his reputation and what he brings at the club. So Arsenal only goes weird on paying player salaries when the player is worth it. Thomas Partey, £200,000 a week. I really believe he's worth it because whenever he's out of that Arsenal team, he is really missed. You get? Look at a player who goes by the names of Odegaard. Odegaard is earning like 85,000. You get? But at Manchester United, the player like Odegaard would have been given a contract of like 180,000 pounds. So Arsenal doesn't pay astronomical wages. That's why it's easy for it to loan its players out. And secondly, it's easy to sell because a player, reason being, a team where this player is being sold to can afford those wages. You get? But there are players that are stuck at teams because of the wages they. And look at Aubameyang. He was not willing to leave Arsenal. He was just thrown under the bus by the manager. You get? For him, he was okay, not even playing any game, provided they are paying him £370,000 a week. What did Arsenal do? They even paid £7 million to Barcelona to take this player. You get? So Arsenal is trying to really improve its wage structure and really reset it to a level of a good footballing club. And this is so much expectant. Reason being, Mikel Arteta has been a side which goes by Man City, where you look at players like Bernardo Silva earning £150,000 a week. You get? It's very hard a player at Man City to exceed £150,000 a week. You get? The only players that exceed that amount of money is Kevin De Bruyne, the highest paid, then Erling Haaland, then I think who else? Is it Ruben Diaz? But the rest of the players are below £150,000 a week. That is what we call a structure, a wage structure that is so much prominent and so much proven that can be handled by a team. So this is what is making the deals of Arsenal easy, especially when they are loaning out players and selling them off. But Balogun is really moving to steady reigns, as going to be announced by that side, because that steady reigns sold Hugo Ekitike to PSG and he is being seen as a replacement for this player. And obviously Balogun turned down all opportunities and options from Premier League clubs and said, no, I'm going to French League One. Now today, Fabrizio Romano told us that, as revealed by Fabrizio Romano, Bernd Leno has been undergoing medical checks with Fulham today ahead of the £8 million switch across London. Goalkeeper wanted to pursue regular playing opportunities ahead of World Cup in Qatar. Deal expected to become official in the coming days. So he has undergone his medical, passed it, and I think by today night or tomorrow, papers are going to be signed and Fulham is going to unveil Bernd Leno as their first choice goalkeeper. Fulham are really working hard to see to it that they don't really get relegated again. They are promoted to the Premier League side in 2020, and they played the season of 2020-2021, and they got relegated. When they are relegated, they went back, spent just 1 year in there for you, and then got themselves back to the Premier League side. And now they are really in the Premier League and they really want to enforce their team. They've brought in players like Andreas Pereira. I've seen they're really wanting Eric Bay, and they've gone ahead to sign a player who goes by the names of Bernd Leno in there for you. And Bernd Leno has been undergoing his second medical down in London because Fulham is in London, and this player is expected to be really a player of Fulham anytime from now. So Arsenal look like they're really gathering some good amount of money. They have 9.5 from Marseille. That is the player who goes by the names of Guendouzi. Then they've sold Bernd Leno close to £8 million. That is like £18 million. As per now, they're having £18 million from the sold players. When you add on the loan fee from Reims and Marseille, you get, I think it can amount to £20 million now that they have from the outgoings in there for you. And now they're trying really to gather in money to see to it that they really get themselves to levels they're supposed to be in there for you. So Bernd Leno has really left Arsenal permanently and is going to play for a side which goes by the names of by the names of Fulham. Now, after Bernd Leno, another player outgoing is Lucas Torreira. Lucas Torreira, surprisingly, we never saw this coming. We thought that he would either go to Valencia, as his agent came out and told us that Gattuso and the player have an agreement in place. That meant Valencia and Torreira had an agreement in place. But could they meet the amount of money that Arsenal wanted? Roma wanted the player. Juventus wanted the player. Is it even Napoli? Close to 5 teams wanted this player. But guess what? At the last moment, we've seen a team from Turkey coming out and hijacking this deal. And finally, this player is going to join Galatasaray. Oh my God. It's a transfer that we never saw coming. But this is what we are having from Fabrizio Romano. He first told us in the morning that Arsenal are working with the outgoings and still waiting for Lucas Torreira to decide on Galatasaray proposal as they are ready to accept. Leno will become Fulham player soon. Pablo Mari will be the next player to leave the club. Monza and Verona both interested. So you see how Arsenal is busy on outgoings. How many are those going to be sold permanently? Torreira, Leno, Pablo Mari. Those are 3. Hector Bellerin is coming through. You get Nicola Pepe is coming in through. You get Ainsley Maitland-Niles is coming in through. Who else is going to be sold permanently? I think those 6 players are leaving Arsenal on a permanent deal. And they're no longer going to be Arsenal players. So as things stand, Arsenal are working on the deal to see to it that this guy really flies. This guy really joins the side which goes by Galatasaray. And they're waiting to see whether his agent really accepts the deal. Now, after all that being said, we've gotten a confirmation from Ryan Taylor that I think Torreira and his agent have gone ahead to accept the deal coming in from Galatasaray, and it said Lucas Torreira has flown to Istanbul for his medical with Galatasaray. The deal amounts to £7.5 million, including add-ons. You get? Let me see, 7.5 euros. 7.5. Close to 9 million euros. A deal is worth. That's it. So Ryan Taylor is telling us that he is on the plane. He is going to Galatasaray to complete his medical to join a side which goes by the names of Galatasaray in the for you. So he's flying to Turkey. That's it. And it really puts you in a very comfortable way how you look at how Arsenal is really doing its deals. Brought in 5, get rid of yourself, the dead wood that don't live in the club, and then get in money and accomplish the remaining deals in that for you. Good business for Arsenal, and I think they're really going to really collect in some money to help them bring in players that they really want again in the for you. So that is Lucas Torreira leaving a side which goes by the names of Arsenal and is flying to Istanbul to undergo his medical. All right. So let's get to the last story. The last story is all about Arsenal are confident in extending Saliba, Saka and Martinelli deals. In there, for reported to you by Kaya Kanyaka. He is really the Arsenal writer for Football London. You get? So, when you look at the players they're talking about, William Saliba returned from loan from Marseille. He's really doing well. And he's going to play into the central defense with Gabriel Magalhaes. You get? So, Arsenal really wanting to tie him on a long contract. 2 more years, I think, are going to be added, 2 or 3. To really see that he really be at Arsenal for the next 5 years, because he's really a very good young athletic defender, and Arsenal really bought him on a cheap from France in 2019. He has been on loan for like 2-3 years, and now finally he's back, and he's back in full form. So they have every reason to tie him on a new contract. You saw what he put up in the preseason. Saliba really added more still in the defense of Arsenal. You get? No, not shaky. Good on the ball, hard tackler. He's good at game reading. He's good in the air. He wins lots of aerial and ground duels. That is Saliba William, and I think very many Arsenal people really love him because they even screamed his name in America, and then they screamed his name way back when he returned from America at the Emirates in the Emirates Cup final for you. Then Bukayo Saka is one of those that Arsenal is looking at to extend his contract also, because he's really doing great and they really want to tie him on a long contract. Remember, in 20 In 2020, he renewed his contract and he put in some other 4 years, meaning that he still has more 2 years left on his contract. Arsenal believe that they should tie him to another contract of like 3 or 4 years to see that they secure his future for the next 6 years, because they believe that very many teams will come in for him as soon as possible if at all they don't renew his contract. Then Gabriel Martinelli, obviously for this one, to me, he's my best player at Arsenal. Odegaard is my best player. Martinelli comes second best because he is really good. You know, in the game of football, what many teams are lacking, they are lacking creativity. Not from the central area, like where Odegaard plays, but from the wide area. Most of the wide players are now wide forward. They are also selfish. They also come on the field of play to really score in very many goals. But Martinelli is different. His first aim or intention is when he's having that ball is to see who is well placed in a position such that they really do pass him through. You saw that goal he really scored against that goal. You saw that goal of Arsenal that Odegaard scored against Chelsea in the Florida Cup final. You see how much he really took. Do you remember how much time he took to do that 360 turn, waiting for a player of Arsenal to come in and release him? That's how patient he is. In the game of Sevilla, where Arsenal beat them by 6-0, you remember very well, he put up 2 assists. And that 6th goal, where he really registered his 2nd assist in that game by releasing Edin Nketiah to really hit an empty net, shows you how unselfish this guy is. He really took his time, and when the goalkeeper got off his goal line, he passed through Nketiah, and Nketiah tapped that ball into the back of an empty net. You get? That is how good this guy is, and I think he's here to stay. And the reason as to why he was given 11 is because he told them, I'm going nowhere, I'm an Arsenal, and I'm going to be a Ghana in there for you. So guys, feel free to let me know what you think about Bernd Leno completing his medical at Fulham, Torreira flying to Turkey to accomplish his move. Which other player have we talked about? We've talked about Florin Balogun. He's really in France and is going to be unveiled today night. And then contracts, William Saliba, Martinelli, and Bukayo Saka are really going to be tied on long contracts at the side which goes by names of Arsenal. But remember, all these outgoings, David Austin told us that they are gathering money to bring in Tielemans. So let's wait and see after these players are really moving out, because Arsenal now has collected close to £25 million, and we're waiting to see whether that money is going to go straight into the pocket of Leicester City to get them Tielemans. Because when you look at all close sources, Fabrizio Romano, David Austin, Ben Jacobs, all of those have been telling us that Tielemans is going into Arsenal, and Arsenal really want this player. They've rendered good personal terms, and even yesterday I did a story confirming to you that Leicester City is expecting an offer from Arsenal as far as signing Tielemans is concerned. Thank you guys for watching in. I sign out for now. See you later. And more stories are still coming. This is the second story of the day. Let's really charge, and the next 2 hours we are bringing the other one. I'm out.